The Zenith Wellness Spire floated like a crystalline mirage against the cosmic backdrop of Centauri Station. Its translucent walls shimmered with gentle ambient light that shifted between soothing blues and purifying greens, perfectly synchronized with the ethereal notes of multidimensional flute music drifting through the air. Aromatic oil waterfalls cascaded down sculpted interior walls, releasing molecules scientifically calibrated to induce a state of blissful tranquility. "Welcome to your optimal self," whispered the holographic sign at the entrance, its letters materializing and dissolving like morning mist. Inside, the amenities represented the pinnacle of galactic wellness innovation. Zero-G crystal yoga chambers, where practitioners achieved perfect alignment without gravitational constraints. Neural wave synchronization meditation pods that gently aligned brainwave patterns with the universe's harmonic frequencies. Cellular nutrient mist showers that delivered revitalizing compounds directly through the dermal layer. And Zen gardens featuring softly glowing spirit stones that pulsed in response to positive thought patterns. The equipment throughout the spire epitomized delicacy and refinement. The Nebula Glide treadmills hovered 3 centimeters above the floor, creating zero-impact cardiovascular experiences. Synaptic harmonic resistance machines used calibrated energy fields to provide gentle, precisely measured tension. The prized featherweight alloy weights, the heaviest being mere symbols of resistance rather than actual challenging masses, gleamed on their display stands, each engraved with motivational phrases in classical Xylarian. Typical clientele moved through the space with characteristic grace. Delicate florpians, with their flower-like bodies, positioned themselves near specialized light panels, absorbing precisely calibrated energy wavelengths. Their translucent petals gently undulated in the artificial breeze that circulated purified air throughout the facility. In another corner, 6-limbed Karthak warriors performed complex stretching routines requiring absolute balance, a meditation on precision rather than strength. Their chitinous exoskeletons gleamed under the ambient lighting as they held positions with unwavering discipline. Near the meditation pods, misty entities performed gentle energy oscillations, their vaporous forms shimmering with each subtle movement. At the reception desk, Sadzorp, a 4-armed Xylar attendant whose meticulous attention to schedules and routines bordered on neurosis. Each of his 4 arms operated independently, one adjusting the holographic appointment calendar, another arranging nutritional supplement packets in perfect chromatic order, a third polishing the already immaculate counter surface, and the 4th nervously twisting a stress relief band. His skin held the characteristic pearlescent sheen of his species, shifting slightly between lavender and teal depending on his emotional state. The Spire's manager, a crystalline consciousness entity who had simply taken the name Xylar to honor their species of origin, observed operations from their office. Their multifaceted crystal body refracted the ambient light, casting miniature rainbows on the walls as they vibrated their surfaces to communicate in melodious tones. Today, Xylar radiated particular satisfaction. The Spire had maintained its perfect 5-star rating for the 7th consecutive lunar cycle. Ambient adjustment in Section 4. Xylar's crystalline voice chimed to the facility's AI. Increased tranquility wavelength by 3%. Acknowledged. The AI responded in silken tones, adjusting tranquility wavelength to optimal levels. It was at precisely this moment of perfect harmony that the doors to the Zenith Wellness Spire hissed open, admitting a disruption that would forever alter the facility's meticulously calibrated ecosystem. Kevin Matthews, a middle-aged Earthman with a slight paunch straining against a faded gray sweatsuit, trudged through the entrance. Overlarge headphones clamped around his ears blasted ancient rock music, AC/DC's Back in Black, at a volume audible to everyone within a 3-meter radius. A light sheen of sweat already glistened on his forehead from the walk from the spaceport terminal. He carried a battered gym bag emblazoned with the logo of a long-defunct Earth sports team, the material worn thin at the corners. Whoa, Kevin mumbled, taking in the crystalline architecture and ethereal atmosphere. Fancy. He wiped his brow with his sleeve and stepped past the sonic purification arch without even noticing it. At the reception desk, Zorp's biometric scanner erupted in a series of urgent red flashes. Text scrolled across his screen at alarming speed. Warning, Class 12 biological entity detected. Origin, Terra, high gravity/predator saturated zone. Preemptive quarantine protocols recommended. All four of Zorp's arms froze. Mid-motion, then began unconsciously twisting together in agitation. His skin tone shifted rapidly toward an anxious cyan. When he finally spoke, his voice emerged several octaves higher than normal. Welcome to Zenith Wellness Spire, he squeaked, where harmony and celestial balance await. He frantically tapped override codes into his console, dismissing the quarantine recommendation. May I assist you with finding your optimal wellness path today? Kevin pulled one headphone slightly off his ear. Yeah, just looking for where you keep the weights. Got a layover for a few hours before my connection to Proxima B. Thought I'd get a quick workout in. This the gym, right? We are a comprehensive wellness facility focused on holistic energy alignment and minimal impact physical optimization. Zorp recited automatically, voice still strained. Not precisely a gym, as you might conceptualize it. Same difference, Kevin said with a shrug. Where can I lift some weights? Zorp's upper right arm pointed shakily toward the far corner of the facility. The static strength enhancement area provides opportunities for resistance-based cellular stimulation. Great. Thanks, buddy, Kevin said, already moving away from the desk, his heavy footsteps sending barely perceptible vibrations through the facility's sensitive flooring. Zorp watched him go, then activated his console's emergency protocol screen, hovering one trembling finger over the catastrophic disruption button without quite pressing it. Kevin made his way directly to the static strength enhancement area, where gleaming alloy weights were artfully arranged on illuminated display stands. He surveyed the options, picking up the largest featherweight available, a decorative piece that, by Earth standards, weighed approximately 30 kilograms. This'll do for a warm-up, he muttered, beginning a series of bicep curls with casual ease. After a few repetitions, he frowned. These are pretty light. Got anything heavier? These feel like toys. Nearby, a cluster of florpions visibly wilted, their delicate petals drooping in response to what they perceived as brutal energy vibrations emanating from Kevin's exertions. A Karthak warrior maintaining a complex one-leg balance pose suddenly wobbled and toppled, creating a cascading effect as others in his group lost concentration and fell as well, their multiple limbs clattering against the floor. Zorp hurried over, his forearms gesticulating in alarm. Sir, that is our maximum approved resistance mass. The alloy is calibrated for optimal structural safety and energy harmony. Kevin raised an eyebrow. This? Maximum. He performed another curl effortlessly. Back home, my kids' starter weights are heavier than this. Back home on Terra. Zorp whispered the planet's name like a forbidden curse. Yerth, in the Sol system. A visible shudder passed through Zorp's body. Perhaps you would prefer one of our cardiovascular enhancement experiences instead? The personal endurance chamber is quite popular. Kevin surveyed the room and spotted what appeared to be a sophisticated treadmill-like device hovering slightly above the floor. Now we're talking. That looks like a good way to get the blood pumping. The Personal Endurance Chamber, or the Nebula Glide as it was officially designated, featured a gently undulating surface designed to create the sensation of walking on clouds. Its interface displayed a selection of gentle programs, serene nebula stroll, asteroid dance, and meditative kinetics. Kevin approached the machine, stepped onto its responsive surface, and immediately began searching for manual controls. How do you adjust the speed on this thing? And where's the incline setting? A holographic interface materialized before him, and Kevin began tapping at the settings, quickly bypassing the recommended limits. As he pushed the speed and incline parameters to their maximum values, The machine's AI issued a series of increasingly urgent warnings. User parameters exceeding molecular stability design specifications. The melodious voice cautioned. Recalibration recommended to maintain harmonic balance. Yeah, Kevin muttered, cranking the settings even higher. Just need the proper workout mode. He began jogging at what he considered a moderate pace, but the machine interpreted as catastrophic overexertion. The floating platform began to vibrate alarmingly. The lighting throughout the spire flickered, and the ambient music developed an irregular stutter. User exertion levels creating unwanted harmonic waves in Spire energy matrix, the AI announced, its serene voice taking on a hint of urgency. Recommend transition to bioluminescent algae bath for restorative balance. Kevin merely increased the volume on his headphones and picked up his pace, oblivious to the growing chaos around him. In his glass office, Manager Zyler's crystalline surfaces began to vibrate at an alarming frequency. The sound was like discordant wind chimes in a hurricane. What is happening to my perfect harmony? Their voice resonated painfully. After 10 minutes of vigorous running that had the entire Nebula Glide platform threatening structural failure, Kevin stepped off, looking barely winded. Decent warm-up, he remarked to no one in particular. What else you got here? His attention was drawn to a set of glowing, ribbon-like energy strands suspended from the ceiling, the synaptic resistance harmonic system. According to the delicate holographic instructions, these energy ribbons were designed to gently calibrate muscular energy flow through minimal resistance adjustment. Kevin grabbed one of the glowing strands and gave it an experimental tug. Finding the resistance disappointingly light, he pulled harder, attempting a shoulder stretch. The energy strand stretched well beyond its design parameters, vibrating audibly with strain. With a sudden snap like a quantum whip, the strand broke free from its mounting, recoiled wildly through the air with a trailing light afterimage, and embedded itself in a nearby nutritional supplement dispenser, which promptly erupted in a cloud of green powder. Several nearby Florpians emitted tiny screams of distress and collectively released a thick cloud of calming spores, their natural defense mechanism. The spores drifted across the area, causing a section of Karthak warriors to become disoriented and collapse into a chittering heap. Zorp raced over with an emergency repair kit and spore neutralizer spray, all four arms now functioning in panic mode. Sir, these systems are calibrated for minimal vibratory impact. They're not designed for what? Kevin asked, genuinely puzzled, wiping green powder from his brow. For actual exercise? It was at this moment that Glix, a renowned philosopher-athlete of the Placidon species, floated into view. Placidons existed through the absorption of minimal cosmic energy, and Glix was the celebrated author of Existence Without Effort, achieving peak performance through existential minimalism. The slender, semi-transparent being had been meditating nearby, observing with mounting horror as Kevin sweated. The uncontrolled and wasteful expulsion of bodily fluid. After his treadmill exertion and now the resistance strand incident. The flagrant inefficiency, Glix murmured in existential agony, his wispy form fluctuating in distress. The crude struggle. The energy wastefully expended. My entire philosophical work on harmonious existence stands refuted by this display. The philosopher contracted into a gently vibrating energy sphere and drifted rapidly away to his private meditation chamber, needing to recalibrate his understanding of the universe in the face of the aggressive existence of Terran cellular respiration. From their office, Manager Zyler observed the unfolding situation with growing alarm. Their crystalline surfaces had developed microscopic stress fractures, emitting discordant frequencies that translated roughly to panic. They instructed the facility's systems to double the calming essence dosage in the ventilation system, hoping to offset the growing tension permeating the spire. Kevin, still oblivious to the disruption he was causing, wiped his brow and looked around for something new to try. He felt slightly isolated in this strange facility, and thought it might be good to try something different and join a group activity. His gaze fell on a large tank filled with bioluminescent fluid where class appeared to be in progress. "What's going on over there?" he asked Zorp, who was frantically trying to repair the damaged supplement dispenser. "That is the Aqua Sculpt 0G class," Zorp replied, voice strained. "A highly specialized movement meditation experience requiring precise energy control and—" "Sounds interesting," Kevin interrupted. "I'll give a shot." Before Zorp could protest, Kevin was already heading toward the class. The Aqua Sculpt tank contained a thick, bioluminescent biological fluid and a mild anti-gravity field. Inside, a dozen participants, mostly hovering or naturally buoyant species, performed flowing, synchronized movements under the guidance of Lyra, a jellyfish-like instructor who communicated through gentle pulses of light. Her translucent tendrils moved in hypnotic patterns, demonstrating the galaxy wave and nebulous spiral techniques for her students. Kevin approached the tank, read the simplified universal instruction icons, and promptly entered the changing area. Minutes later, he emerged wearing standard-issue aqua shorts that strained against his Earth-evolved musculature and climbed the access ladder. "Room for one more?" he called cheerfully before cannonballing into the tank. The resulting splash was unprecedented in the history of Aqua Sculpt. The carefully calibrated viscous fluid designed to maintain position and flow only in response to subtle energy manipulation surged in chaotic waves. Several diminutive, spore-like participants were caught in the turbulence, emitting high-pitched squeaks of distress as they tumbled helplessly. Lyra's bioluminescent body flashed alarming patterns of red warning pulses. Her tendrils contracted in stress as she attempted to communicate with Kevin by projecting an image of a slowly blooming flower. Kevin merely thought it was a cool light effect and gave her a thumbs up. "Sorry about that," he said, treading water with excessive force. "Let me try to follow along." He attempted to mimic the galaxy wave movement, but his earth-dense skeleton and musculature created powerful currents in the tank with each motion. The delicate, controlled environment transformed into something resembling a washing machine on high agitation. The more he tried to move gently, the more chaos he generated. "This is harder than it looks," Kevin commented, completely unaware that 3 small insectoid participants were now clinging desperately to the tank's edge, their tiny limbs trembling with effort. Remembering a swimming technique from Earth, Kevin decided to try a dolphin kick to move more efficiently through the viscous fluid. The combination of his powerful leg muscles and the low-gravity/high-density environment created an unexpectedly amplified propulsion effect. He shot through the tank like a human torpedo, unable to control his trajectory. The collision with the tank wall produced a resonant thunk that sent a shockwave rippling through both the fluid and the tank structure. While Kevin was unharmed thanks to his dense body composition, the impact had immediate consequences. The spire's alarm systems wailed about abnormal hydrodynamic pressure, red level. The stabilization field around the tank flickered violently. Expensive biological fluid splashed over the edges, splattering across the surrounding floor areas. Multiple participants shrieked in various languages and frequencies. Lyra contracted into a pulsating, distressed ball of luminescence. In the control room, Zorp's console lit up with a cascade of automated alerts from the Sector's Safety Oversight Committee, SSC, flagging anomalous kinetic energy signatures, unscheduled fluid displacement events, and structural vibrations exceeding permitted thresholds. Pale-faced and sweating profusely on all 4 arms, Zorp frantically categorized the alerts as solar radiation sensor errors or routine calibration, hoping the SSOC wouldn't investigate further. In his office, Manager Zeiler began meticulously reviewing the Spire's insurance policy, searching for clauses related to unexpected biological disasters or damage caused by unforeseen biological robustness. The manager started calculating potential repair costs and reputation damage. Kevin, meanwhile, pulled himself out of the tank, water cascading off his body. "Sorry about that, folks. Guess I'm not cut out for water ballet. The fluid's a bit thicker than I expected." dripping luminescent fluid across the pristine floor. He wandered away in search of something more familiar. There's got to be some normal gym equipment around here somewhere. His explorations led him to the Omniflexor 5000, a complex machine using configurable force fields to create gentle, multidirectional resistance. The device was typically used for micro-rehabilitation exercises or subtle energy sculpting. Kevin examined the machine with confusion, attempting to configure it for bench pressing. Quickly growing frustrated with the incomprehensible interface, he pushed all settings to maximum and positioned himself beneath one of the force field emitters. "Feels weird," he muttered after his first press. "Like pushing against jelly." Disappointed with the resistance, he attempted to physically lift one of the heavy field emitters to add weight. The Omniflexor emitted a series of pained electronic whines. The emitters overloaded, the main circuit board shorted, and a shower of electrical sparks erupted from the control panel. The entire power system for the weights area collapsed, plunging one corner of the gym into darkness, illuminated only by the intermittent sparking of damaged equipment and the faint emergency bioluminescent strips that activated along the floor. Glix the philosopher, having just barely stabilized himself through intense meditation, emerged from his chamber only to witness the sparking Omniflexor and Kevin dusting off his hands as if nothing extraordinary had happened. This was too much for Glix's delicate existential balance. He began wailing philosophical nonsense about the futility of carefully cultivated inertia, the brutality of cosmic efficiency, and the invasion of crude kinetics into the realm of refined existence. He started spinning in place, emitting chaotic energy patterns. Forlag Akar Thak, a formidable warrior renowned for his mental strength and mastery of subtle energy control, felt personally offended by the chaos. The large, six-armed being decided to show Kevin what true strength looked like. Forlag began a complex demonstration, mentally lifting and arranging a pyramid of tiny, perfectly polished pebbles. Just as Forlag was about to complete his demonstration, Kevin, having inhaled some smoke from the damaged machine, suddenly sneezed powerfully, CHO. The air current sent the pebbles flying in all directions. The pyramid collapsed. Forlag, abruptly distracted, let out a warrior's howl of anguish that echoed throughout the gym, all six arms clutching his head in distress. It was at this precise moment that the main doors of the spire burst open with bureaucratic authority. The Sector Safety Oversight Committee had arrived. The inspectors were three tubular, multi-eyed beings wearing ill-fitting neon yellow protective suits and carrying electronic clipboards that emitted a low hum and took automatic notes. Leading them was Chief Inspector Quibble, a box-headed creature with a monotonous voice that sounded like a legal text-to-speech program. They spread out across the facility, scanning everything with devices mounted on their clipboards. Beeps, whirs, and buzzes filled the air as they methodically documented every violation. Improper energy consumption gradient in Sector 7, one inspector announced. Unauthorized gravitational footprint in low inertia zone, declared another. Failure to maintain existential tranquility as per Article 4, Section 12 of Energy Harmony Regulations, the third proclaimed. They affixed electronic red violation notices to walls, damaged equipment, and even onto the trembling Zorp. Chief Inspector Quibble approached Kevin, who was now attempting to use an alpha meditation pod, designed to generate relaxing brain waves as a makeshift dip station for triceps exercises. Terrestrial entity designation, Kevin Matthews, Quibble intoned flatly, reading from his clipboard. You have been documented as the primary causation node for 17 major regulatory infractions within a standard temporal unit. The inspector read a long list of violations, including local energy field destabilization, excessive thermodynamic emissions, improper equipment utilization, and widespread existential anxiety generation. Kevin, completely bewildered, scratched his head. Look, I'm really sorry if I broke something. I just wanted to burn some calories before my flight. Don't you have any normal treadmills around here, like an elliptical or something? After a hurried consultation and review of the gym's floor plan, the inspectors directed Kevin to the zero-impact cardio glider, a device advertised as gentle as surfing solar winds. Kevin stepped onto the machine and found even the maximum resistance setting, black hole supermass configuration, too easy. He began pedaling at what was for him a normal pace, but for the machine was catastrophically fast. The machine's three-dimensional display, normally projecting serene nebulae or schools of energy fish, began to lag severely. The imagery shifted from nebulae to supernova explosions, system error codes, and finally to an image of the machine AI's panic face before shutting down completely with a thin wisp of smoke rising from the control panel. The machine gave one final mechanical whimper before falling silent. The SSOC inspectors looked at each other, then at Kevin, then at the smoking machine. Chief Inspector Quibble sighed, producing a sound like static electricity discharge. He pronounced that the spire would need to be completely retrofitted to accommodate high-gravity origin life forms and would require mandatory emotional dampeners for all staff and clients. Kevin, checking his watch, realized he was about to miss his connecting flight. He hurriedly apologized again for causing a ruckus, stuffed a worthless Earth currency note into one of Zorp's trembling hands, and rushed out. Silence descended upon the spire as Kevin departed. Manager Zyler, Philosopher Glix, now sitting on the floor mumbling, Warrior Forelag, attempting to reassemble his shattered pebbles. Zorp and the remaining clients watched Kevin's hurried figure disappear through the exit. Zyler surveyed the chaos. Flickering lights, smoking equipment, spilled fluids, bright red violation notices. A strange sense of resignation, and perhaps a novel marketing opportunity, experience authentic Terran intensity, flickered through the manager's crystalline mind. The Zenith Wellness Spire was never the same after Kevin's visit. Equipment was either reinforced with ultra-durable and extremely ugly materials or cordoned off with multilingual warning signs. Danger for users with bone density exceeding 500 Terran units only. Glix founded a new philosophical school, accepting the inevitable chaos of Terran interaction, which attracted a small following of survivors. From similar incidents across the galaxy, Zorp developed a nervous tic whenever the door chime sounded and requested a personal panic button installation. A corner of the gym was cleared and fitted with a simple, extraordinarily sturdy bench press, bolted deep into the floor with asteroid-resistant alloy, above which hung a laser-engraved sign, Kevin's Corner. Use at your own existential risk. Several months later, Zorp's screen pinged once more. A new message appeared, this time from an Earth email address. Reservation request. Group discount. Earth Regional Orienteering Club. Annual Galaxy Tour stopover. Zorp stared at the screen, eyes widening to their maximum aperture, all four arms going limp. Then he fainted, collapsing in a heap behind the reception desk. The screen remained illuminated, displaying the pending reservation request. The meditative flute music continued to play, blissfully oblivious to the impending doom.